Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to week 39 of the DC Sports Digest. It's a pretty busy week, especially for the Nationals and Wizards. So without further ado, let's get into those two teams. Starting with the Nationals, they lost the Cardinals and Mets series. They really weren't playing too well. And then usual inconsistency shows up and they end up doing pretty well against the better Brewers team. Yeah, we got swept by the Mets. I think we only won a game in the Cardinals series. We're just not doing so well. And it's a reason we are most likely going to be sold for the July 30th deadline. Look for guys like Jesse Winker, Kyle Finnegan, Dylan Floro, maybe. A couple of potential guys could be moved. And I'll definitely make sure to recap that if it happens. See what types of prospect calls we can get for them, just because it's unlikely we end up going like a 10-game win streak, or we do well against the Brewers going into the All-Star break. But speaking of All-Star, we have C.J. Abrams making it to the All-Star game finally. I thought he probably was snubbed as a starter too, but he did eventually make it as a reserve, which was great to see. Definitely deserved it. Definitely some snubs in the pitching staff like Jake Irwin, who definitely couldn't make it over some other guys who got in, but they keep playing well. They'll eventually get in. So that's all I have to say about that. My last year's side, great update, he was put on the 60-day IL, so unfortunately, I think it's very unlikely we see him again this season, which is unfortunate. I think this was from last week, sorry I forgot to delete it. James Wood did his first home run against the Cardinals, so that was great to see. Another one of our prospects, I think maybe number 3 or something for us, and then number 45 overall in MLB. Brady House moved up to AAA. It seemed like he's doing pretty well there to start. Another prospect moving up. Talk about the trade deadline. And then we also have the MLB draft starting on Sunday. I probably won't do a recap video on this. Just I don't really have the time, just because when it happens, and also I don't know too much about it. I'll put it in the next DC Sports Digest, but that's my knowledge of the draft. We picked 10, so we could get a decent player there. And then have a lot to cover, because I'll be missing some time. I'll talk about that at the end of the video. We have the Brewers series finishing before the All-Star break, and then we have the Reds, Padres, Cardinals, and Diamondbacks series. The Wizards, they started Summer League games and beat the Hawks 94-88. Wanted to point out 3 guys, starting with Bub Carrington, who had 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. I don't know. They're either rebounds or assists. I should have checked that before. I think it's rebounds. I'm going to say rebounds and that's assists. So either way, he was super close to triple-double, played really well. Honestly, from the jump, he had that first 3-pointer in the game, like, right off the tip. He just played really well. He looked really confident. Alex Sarr didn't show as much on offense, but still had 12 points. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and also 4 blocks, including a stretch of 2 or 3 in a row. So that was great to see. I think just his defensive impact is obviously greater than his offensive impact, and the offensive potential is obviously still there. And then also, not a rookie, but wanted to point out Justin Champagne, who had 18 points, also 4 rebounds and 5 assists. Trying to see, I mean, obviously Summer League, it's you can't really tell for everyone. Doesn't matter too much, but if he plays one Summer League, maybe he carves out a roster spot. He's kind of been in the G League, maybe 2-way sometimes, so see what happens with that. I'm talking about Keyshawn George. He was a little slow last game, but it's just one game. Still made a couple shots, and yeah, still 3 more games against the Rockets, Blazers, and Kings. We also signed Saddiq Bey for 3 years, $20 million, which is a really great deal. He is hurt. He tore his ACL in March, so he will not be back until probably December. But he's a great piece. He averaged 15, and he's cheap. So that's the thing about these. They're all they're not there's cheap veterans, kind of like the Commanders. And actually, I was listening to Will Dawkins was on the national broadcast for the Wizards game. I really like what he was saying about how he was, developing this team. He was figuring out what a Wizard was, who a Wizard was. That's just great stuff to hear. I really like his direction that he's taking the Wizards. And that's all I have for them. Capitals, I don't have too much. They had development camp for some of their draft picks. and just developing players, including probably our top prospect, Ryan Leonard, who you probably won't see this year. I think he's coming back to college, but he'll be hopefully here after this year. And they also signed some of our draft picks to some contracts, and you may see some of those players next year. We'll see. And like I said, not too much for the Caps, and not too much for the Commanders either, but want to congratulate Jayden Daniels for winning Best College Player at the ESPY, so that was great to see. And then training camp starts on the 24th, so a little over a week away, so that is great news. And that's all for the Commanders, not too much. Also don't know too much for these teams because they are all taking some breaks for the Olympics. The Mystics beat the Fever but lost to the Lynx, and they have 2 more games against the Aces and Mercury before the Olympics. The Spirit are finished with their games. They beat Bay FC, and they are on their Olympic break. And then DC United lost to Orlando. They have 2 games against Nashville and Minnesota, and they have 3. I think they have 1 friendly. They have 2 Leagues Cup. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but they're all non-MLS games. And then they have their Olympic break. And that's all I have. So thank you guys for watching. Some little updates I don't have a DC Sports Digest coming out in the next 2 weeks. Maybe I'll put one out Monday the 29th, but if not, I'll put it out in early August. I might end up doing Monday the 29th and then just doing a short week for the next one. I think that would make the most sense. So I'll probably do that. So I think the next DC Sports Digest will be coming out Monday, July 29th. I don't think I put one out on Monday, but I think just based on my schedule, it works out best. And then I have, while I'm away, I have 1 video scheduled to come out, the State of DC Sports video, which I kind of regret doing a little bit earlier. I had that one ready for a while because there's obviously things always change, but I had to do it at some point. So I still think I did a decent enough job kind of ranking each team by how well their future is looking. So yeah, look forward to that. And then I'll see you guys back on the 29th for the next DC Sports Digest. So thanks for watching. Bye.